Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is June 7th, and we're going through our May Players of the Month, and unfortunately, more gambling problems. Let's do it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today? Friday, the end of the week here, and we're getting into June. Yeah, we got a pretty fulfilled episode here. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of it kind of being, bad news. Things that are bad luck, bad players, and, well, banned players. Before we get into all of that, we've got, of course, our series recap, but today especially we have our player of the months to go over. I'm going to try to definitely shorten it up from last time. So with that being said, let's dive right on in and get into our AL players of the month here. And we're going to start, of course, with our catcher and go through the list. For catcher, I've got Oakland A's, Shea Langelaris, a 250 average, 6 home runs, 16 RBIs, and a 921 OPS. Definitely a strong May for him. Our first baseman, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., had a very nice month of May to catch up for his April struggles. A 221 average, and only 2 home runs, but he did drive in 14 and a 916 OPS. He was getting on base and scoring a lot of runs. However many runs Toronto can score in a game, but he's definitely the first baseman that led the way here. And now second baseman, this is kind of like the hard drop, because I went through trying to find someone who was a primary second base position player, and I came over with Gleyber Torres, a 240 average, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, and a 744 OPS. That is a very low number for a player of the month, but I guess the AL second base class just had a real struggle streak for the month of May. Hopefully one of them can turn it on for the month of June here, as we are getting into All-Star voting as well. That started a couple days ago, so vote for your All-Stars, because 5 votes a day. Third baseman, Jose Ramirez. Very clear choice here. He's going to be an all-star for sure. 295 average, 11 home runs, 33 RBIs, a 1.061 OPS. All I'm saying is if Cleveland keeps things up and if they make the playoffs, depending on how far they get, I wouldn't be surprised if Jose Ramirez is making his case for a potential MVP run. There's just 2 Yankee outfielders that might be in the way of that, but Ramirez definitely having a fantastic season through the first 2 months here. Shortstop, we're going to Corey Seager. And of course, we know the best 2 shortstops are Gunnar and Bobby Witt right now, but Corey Seager had an amazing month of May, a 287 average, 11 home runs, 21 RBIs, and a 1.047 OPS for him. He was on fire with those Rangers, that 8 home runs in 8 days that he was carrying. So Seager is your shortstop. Moving on to our outfield, I mentioned the 2 Yankee outfielders in the last episode. I mentioned them here briefly. Aaron Judge clears the way. We're talking about Gleyber having a 744 OPS. We're talking about Ramirez and Seager being so amazing with a 1.0 OPS. Aaron Judge, 361 average, 14 home runs, 27 RBIs. How about a 1.397 OPS? Aaron Judge nearly 1.4. He had a phenomenal month of May and is definitely the best player overall in the last 31 days here for May. So Aaron Judge takes the cake there, but Soto is right behind him with another great month for him. A 296 average, 7 home runs, 24 RBIs, and a 958 OPS for him. And rounding out the AL outfielders is Kyle Tucker, who was 216 average, 11 home runs, 19 RBIs, and a 962 OPS for him. The AL starting pitcher of the month, I've got Luis Hill from your Yankees, 6-0 with a 0.7 ERA and 44 strikeouts in crazy impressive month for Hill, and I've been calling it Gil. It's Hill, but he's had a phenomenal month there, and it's part of the reason why the Yankees have been so good even without Garrett Cole. And remember, he's also a rookie, so bringing it now to the rookie of the month for AL, obviously I would choose Luis Hill, but because he's already the starter, I'm not going to make it Luis Hill again. So I went digging, and I found myself Colt Keith, my early pick for the AL Rookie of the Year. Not sure how I'm feeling about it these days, but hey, had a strong month here. 3.42 average, 2 home runs, 14 RBIs, and an 8.81 OPS for him. So definitely some flowers there for the Tigers as they try to battle in that tough AL Central division. And rounding off the AL, we have our special/DH spot, and I've gone for the DH route, and I've put in Brent Rooker from your Oakland A's. A 3.30 average, 6 home runs, 22 RBIs, a 9.97 OPS, and everyone's going to start wondering, where is Brent Rooker going to end up at the trade deadline? Because there's no way he's not getting traded. His value is at an all-time high, and Oakland is not good, to say the least there. So that is your AL Players of the Month. Now we're going to jump into our NL side of things here, and starting it off at catcher, I think he was also April. I have William Contreras here. It's close between him and Will Smith, but I'm going to go with Contreras. A 3.01 average, 3 home runs, 21 RBIs, and an 8.37 OPS for him. Definitely strong month of May for William again. And the Brewers, whose offense I keep eating my words on. I didn't think it was going to be good, and here they are in May, still leading their division. First baseman, Bryce Harper, 3.13 average, 7 home runs, 24 RBIs, and 9.90 OPS. Your Phillies are good. They've got great players. Bryce Harper is great, and not much more to say about that. Nolan Gorman from your Cardinals, a 2.42 average, 6 home runs, 13 RBIs, a 9.20 OPS. Still a bit of a way to go for the Cardinals in wild card/division, but hey, they are second in the division last time I checked, and Nolan Gorman could be a big reason why. Third baseman Matt Chapman takes flowers here. 2.55 average, 4 home runs, 13 ribbies, and a 7.91 OPS. Like I said, the third baseman, well, like I said with Glaber in the AL for second baseman, Matt Chapman, 791 OPS, not the highest that you'd want there, but third basemen have been struggling in the NL side for the month of May, so Matt Chapman will take it there. For our shortstop, we're going to Colorado for Ezequiel Tovar, a 3.08 average, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs, and an 8.63 OPS for him. And now we'll go to our outfielders, where once again we have Jerickson Profar, who, I'll be honest, I'll be voting for him every day, 5 times a day, for him to make his first ever All-Star game. Mr. Irrelevant puts up another great month, a 3.44 average, 4 home runs, 18 RBIs, and a 9.28 OPS. He heard those Will Smith comments and have taken it personally because he's been on fire this year. Joining him in the outfield, of course, Marcell Ozuna from your Braves, 2.92 average, 7 home runs, 18 RBIs, and a 9.38 OPS. And the last spot, had to dig a little bit, had to make a tough call, but I'm going with Andrew McCutchen from your Pirates, 2.77 average, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs, and an 8.32 OPS there. Starting pitcher, Chris Sale. God, it's so good to see him back, to see him playing well. And of course, it's with the Braves. A 5-0 record for the month of May, a 0.56 ERA, and 45 strikeouts to his name. That's incredible. I love to see that. Boston Red Sox fans, I'm so sorry, but this is great. I love this. I love Chris Sale. I want him to get, to milk every last bit of talent he has on the field. I want to watch his starts. I enjoy Chris Sale with his White Sox. I enjoyed him with the Red Sox. One of my favorite pitchers, so good to have Chris Sale doing Chris Sale things. The rookie of the month for your NL. I'm going with Joey Ortiz from your Brewers, a 307 average, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, and a 986 OPS for him. Yeah, Brewers got some pieces there. A lot of young kids. Sal Frelick comes to my mind a lot. Bryce Terang as well. But Joey Ortiz right now taking the cake. And, of course, Jackson Chourio, another young rookie in that Brewers team. But Joey Ortiz leads the way there. For special / DH, like the AL, we're taking the DH route. We're going with Shohei Ohtani. 312 average, 7 home runs, 19 RBIs, and a 976 OPS. I'm sure he will be here for a long time, to say the least. But I also want to mention that Luis Arias, of course, he got traded earlier. His month of May was sensational. A 389 average, nearly 400 average. He had 1 home run, 11 RBIs, and an 875 OPS. So giving him some flowers there. Now that I'm saying things, I want to check one last thing, because I may have not properly looked at the shortstop class, because I forgot that Mookie Betts is there, and I'm wondering how good of a season did Mookie Betts have? How good of a month of May? Not seeing him where I would expect to see him, so yeah, I would still say Ezekiel Tovar apparently. But yeah, that is your NL Players of the Month here. And we're going to jump now into our MLB Players of the Month. What do they have to say about all of this? Usually they do their team of the month. They do a picture, a graphic on their Instagram. Usually is where I find it. I wasn't able to find it. I don't think they did it. So all I have is their 8 players that they have for player, pitcher, rookie, and reliever. So we'll go through all of that really quickly here. Of course, expect all of my picks to be included in the MLBs, and they are Aaron Judge, of course, player of the month for the AL, a 1.397 OPS, that 361 average, the 14 home runs, the 27 RBIs, just sensational numbers there. Bryce Harper, your NL player of the month, a 990 OPS, 313 average, 7 home runs, and 24 RBIs. Pitcher for the month of AL, it's Luis Hill, 6-0, 44 Ks, the 0.7 ERA. Pitcher for the NL, Chris Sale, 5-0, 0.56 ERA, 45 Ks. We've mentioned all of this. Rookie for the AL, I said Colton Keith. They have Luis Hill again because, of course, he's a rookie and he had a phenomenal month. And then the rookie for the NL was, of course, Joey Ortiz. Like I said, 978 OPS. He had 12 extra base hits, 12 RBIs. Really strong month for him. And then the reliever for the AL, Emmanuel Clase, 13 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts, 9 saves, 0 ERA. He did not give up a single run for the month of May. And when you have a lockdown closer like that, it makes sense why the Guardians are having a great year. And then your reliever for the NL side, how about Robert Suarez from your Padres? 12.1 innings pitched, 12 1/3, a 0.73 ERA, 13 strikeouts, and 7 saves to add up to that. And that is all of our players of the month. Definitely Judge with the cake here. But yeah, if you think I missed anyone, leave a comment, let me know. But for now, we're going to jump into our series recap. All right, now leading us off, we've got a 2-game series between the Braves and the Red Sox, and it's a close tied game, but a couple of late home runs from Ozzie Albies and Orlando Arcia pushed the Braves past the Red Sox for the win as they take it 8-3. And in the other game, it's Nick Pivetta and the Red Sox pen that blanks the Braves, while Rafael Devers hits 2 home runs in the game. They split the 2-game set, 1 each. Red Sox win 9-0. The Orioles opened this 4-game set between them and the Blue Jays with 4 home runs. Austin Hayes hitting his first 2 home runs of this season, and he is joined by Anthony Santander and Ramon Urias. The O's win it 7-2. The Orioles continue to destroy the AL East teams, specifically the Blue Jays here, especially Ryan Mountcastle, as he continues to kill the Blue Jays. He hits 2 more home runs in this game to add to his crazy numbers career-wise versus the Blue Jays. Connor Norby hits his first career hit and home run in the second game of his career it's all O's, and it's starting to look ugly. 10-1 there. And then after a quick 2 runs for both teams in the third game, they would start putting up zeros until the 9th, where after a Baltimore error got the Jays into scoring position, IKF was the hero as he walks it off with a long single. And the Blue Jays get a game-winning win there. They walk it off. They take it 3-2. And for the final game, it's an early 3-run home run from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That had the Blue Jays up. Ernie Clement, a base hit, adds 2 to the lead there. But Baltimore tries coming back. Adley Rutschman hits 2 home runs in the game. And in the 9th, it's Ryan O'Hearn to hit one. A 2-run shot makes it a 1-run game. However, the Jays hang on. They find a way to salvage the series big time. They split the 4-game set with the O's and win the last game 6-5. Twins and Yankees now. Royce Lewis is healthy again, and he had a nice series, hitting 2 home runs, but the Twins did not have a great series. Gleyber Torres and Giancarlo Stanton both go deep, while Luis Hill shoves once again. The Yankees take the opener 5-1. For Game 2, the Yankees score 4 runs in 2 different innings, and were up 8 runs at one point. That leads them to another win 9-5, and the Yankees score 8 runs in the first 5 innings. Trent Grisham hitting his second home run of the year as the Yankees destroy the Twins. They sweep the series and win it 8-5. Royals and Guardians, and this was looking like it was going to be a fun series as the first game was looking good for Kansas City. A 5-run lead with some home runs from Hunter Renfroe and 2 from Bobby Witt Jr. However, the Guardians scored 8 unanswered. Josh Naylor and Tyler Freeman hitting home runs to tie the game, and then an error by Bobby Witt brings in 3 runs. The Guardians win it 8-5. Second game was rained out and is to be made up on August 26th. So we head to the last game, and it's a tied game late. Kyle Isbell singles in a run. That would be the difference in this one. The Royals and Guardians end up splitting the 2-game set due to the rain. The Royals win it 4-3. Tigers and Rangers now. 3 solo shots were all the runs in this one. Marcus Semien hitting a leadoff shot for the Rangers. Then Jake Rogers hits one to tie the game for the Tigers. And then in the 8th, Jake Rogers again hits another one, his second of the game, wins it for the Tigers. They take the first game 2-1. Tigers had a couple more home runs in game 2 as Zach McKinstry hits his first home run of the year. Riley Green gets one as well. The Tigers take another game. They win it 3-1. And for the final game now, Justin Henry Malloy, I hope I pronounced that right, he gets his first MLB hit and home run in the game, but it was all Texas in this one. As Josh Smith and Jonah Heim both go deep, the Rangers avoid the sweep and win the game 9-1. Cardinals and Astros now. Yordan, Alex Bregman, and Yanyer Diaz all homer in the opener here. Astros come back from being down 3 early and get the first game, winning it 7-4. Cardinals out-homer the Astros in this one, but the Houston runs a 4-run third inning. Through this game, they take another one, beating the Cardinals 8-5. And then Yanyer Diaz in this third game hits his 3rd home run of the series. He went deep in all 3 games of the series, homering in the second game as well. But a late home run by Nolan Arenado pushes the Cardinals past the Astros. They avoid the sweep and win it 4-2 Redbirds. Mariners and A's now. It's an early 3-run inning by the Mariners to take in the 3rd to get them a lead, and that is a lead they would hold on to for the rest of the game as they beat them and take the opener 4-3. Game 2, Zach Geloff homers for the A's, and the pass ball adds on. So when Julio beats Mason Miller and takes him deep in the 9th, the A's still had a 1-run lead and evened up the series, beating them 2-1. Rubber match, Brian Wu and the Mariners pan blanks the A's as Mitch Garver hits his 6th home run of the year. Mariners take 2 of 3 from the A's and win the last game 3-0. Padres and Angels now, a pitcher's duel type game between Tyler Anderson and Matt Waldron. The difference in this one came in the 8th on a Luis Guillermo sac fly. The Angels come away with the win, taking it 2-1. And it's another pitcher's type duel game between Patrick Sandoval and Adam Mazur, who made his MLB debut. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. The Angels score 3 in the 7th to take the lead and take another win. They beat the Padres 4-2. And then a couple of home runs from Nolan Chanuel and Zach Neto had the Angels up, and their pitching did the rest. The Angels sweep the Padres. Not good, San Diego. They take it 3-2 there. Rays and Marlins now, a 2-game Florida set. Rays score 4 in the 4th and 5 in the 5th with the help of Brandon Lau, who drove in 5, 3 in the 4th on a 3-run home run, and a 2-run double in the 5th. The Rays get the win over the Marlins. They take it 9-5. And for the other game, the Rays get an early lead, scoring 3 in the 1st. They add 2 more in the 3rd and get the win. They get the 2-game sweep over the Marlins and win it 5-3. Mets and Nationals now. It's a close game here for the opener. The Mets were always up ahead on, but the Nats were always in striking distance. They scored 2 in the 9th to make it a 1-run game, as we all thought the Mets were going to blow another game, but they don't. They hold on for the win, taking the opener 8-7. Game 2, it's Harrison Bader and Pete Alonso who hit the home runs. The Mets get the win there and take another game 6-3. And for the final game, Luis Torrens and Francisco Lindor go back-to-back in the 6th, as the Mets after that added 4 more in the inning for a total of 6 runs in the 6th. The Mets get the win and sweep the Nationals. They win it 9-1. Brewers and Phillies now. The Philly faithful welcomes back Rhys Hoskins to the bank, and he says thanks by hitting a home run in his return. Luckily, the Phillies still had the lead thanks to David Dahl, who was playing in his first game since April 4th last year, and he was 2 for 3 with the home run. The Phillies win the opener 3-1. Down 1 late, Alec Bohm hits his 6th home run of the year to tie the game up, and then in extras, Nick Castellanos hits the walk-off double to win it for the Phillies. They take it 2-1 there. And for the last game, the only run in this game, or the only runs in this last game, was thanks to Nicholas Castellanos, who hit a 2-run home run for his 8th of the year. The Phillies get all 3 and sweep the Brewers. They win it 2-0. Dodgers and Pirates now, and it's the pitcher's duel between Jared Jones and Tyler Glasnow, and the only run in this game was on a Jack Sawinski home run, his 5th of the year. Pirates take the opener 1-0. Then we have Paul Skeens facing the Dodgers, and in his first inning of work, strikes out both Betts and Ohtani to start his night. Later on, Ohtani gets to Skeens, hits his 15th of the year. The Pirates, though, scored 7 runs in the second and kept the lead from there. The Pirates win again 10-6. And in the last game, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, Mookie Betts all homer. The Dodgers score a lot early and held the lead late. They get the win and avoid the sweep to the Pirates. They take it 11-7. White Sox and Cubs now. Cubs were down 5 after the first 4 innings. Then they tied the game with 2 home runs from Christopher Morel and Patrick Wisdom. Luis Robert hit his 3rd of the year to get the White Sox back in the lead, but an Ian Happ 2-run double in the 8th got the lead for the Cubs as they complete their comeback and win the game 7-6. And then once again, the Cubs were down 4 runs before they came back and took the lead in the 7th. Paul DeJong tied it with his 10th home run of the year, but the Cubs still came back to walk it off with Mike Tauchman going deep in the 9th to win it on a walk-off home run. Cubs get both games of this Chicago series and they win it again 7-6. Reds and Rockies. The Reds get a huge offensive game, scoring in 6 of the 9 innings. Yaimer Candelario and Tyler Stevenson hit home runs. The Reds take the opener big time, 13-3. Ellie De La Cruz hits his 10th home run of the year. Frankie Montas throws 7 innings, only allowing 1 hit. The Reds take another one 4-1. And for the last game, Candelario and Friedel both go deep. Earlier in the game, the Reds entered the ninth down a run, but proceed to score 6 runs in the ninth, with Spencer Steer going deep and then Jonathan India hitting a grand slam to put this one away. Reds sweep the Rockies and win it 12-7. Lastly, now we have the Giants and the D-backs. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. goes deep. Heliot Ramos hits a home run to tie it, but in the ninth, Pavin Smith gets the best in the last lap as he walks it off with a 2-run walk-off home run. The D-backs get the opener, beating the Giants 4-2. Then for game 2, the D-backs get to Kyle Harrison and the Giants pen. They score 3 runs in the third, add on with 4 in the seventh. They take another one, beating the Giants 8-5. And then a big 6-run third inning for San Francisco with Heliot Ramos hitting a 2-run home run, his second of the series. Roma Flores, he then crushes a grand slam in the inning. Later on in the game, Jorge Soler goes deep. The Giants get the win and avoid the sweep to the D-backs as they take it 9-3. All right, now moving on for our game of the week. The Chicago series was a lot of fun. Both games ending in 7-6 wins for the Cubs. Both of them, the Cubs had to come back in. The only difference was one was a walk-off. So we'll take you to Wednesday's game. Top of the first. Hello, Corey Julks. He hits his second home run of the year to lead things off 1-0 there. Later on, bottom second, a fielder's choice for Nico Horner brings in a run for the Cubs to tie it up. Then in the fourth, the White Sox go crazy. Oscar Colas, an RBI single. Corey Lee, an RBI single. Leanne Sosa gets an RBI single. And then Nicky Lopez, an RBI single. 4 RBI singles makes it 5-1 White Sox. Then in the bottom of the fifth, a force out for Bellinger brings in a run. And then a balk brings in Mike Tauchman to make it 5-3, and it would stay 5-3 until the bottom of the seventh, where a bases-loaded walk scores Dansby Swanson to make it 5-4. Bellinger then, with the sac fly, ties the game up at 5, and then Ian Happ, his single, gets the Cubs the lead, putting them up 6-5, but that didn't even last an inning, because in the top of the eighth, there's Paul DeJong hitting his 10th home run on the year to tie the game up at 6, but that wouldn't stay tied for long, as in the bottom of the ninth, Mike Tauchman hits the walk-off home run, his 5th of the year, wins it for the Cubbies. They sweep this series. Mike Tauchman does it. Cubs take this one, the game of the week, 7-6. All right, we got a lot of bad news to talk about here, and we're going to start with the big one, the gambling news and the gambling suspensions and bans. And we're going to start with the big piece here. Tucupita Marcano is facing a lifetime ban for gambling on baseball. The 24-year-old, he was signed as a free agent by the Padres in 2016 as an amateur free agent. He was part of the trade that sent him to Pittsburgh alongside Jack Sawinski for Adam Frazier, which sent him to the Padres. And then in November of last year, November 2nd, 2023, the Padres took him off of waivers from Pittsburgh, and he was with the Padres. The problem here, though, is when he was with the Pirates, because it was announced from the investigation and everything we've done that while he was injured, he was betting on games that the Pirates were playing in 25 games. He placed over $150,000 of money into his account and was gambling with that, and he only won 4.3% of his bets. He never won a parlay. That's just funny news there, because if you're going to gamble on baseball, if you're going to be that kind of person, at least win your bets. You have the inside information, and that's why you're not supposed to, and that's why you're getting banned. The 24-year-old has thrown his career away. Oh well. I don't feel bad for this, because you kind of have a, specific rule set that you can not follow when it comes to gambling. Gambling is legal. You can gamble if you want to. 100%. Gambling on sports is a lot of, I was about to say fun. I don't want to promote gambling if you don't want to gamble, but a little healthy gambling, I think, is completely fine. The issue here is that a lot of the times, especially in recent years, a lot of gambling ads and everything have taken over sport networks. A lot of them are advertised and they're promoted in a way for all sports across any league, MLB, NHL, NFL, NBA, whatever sports league you want to go into. There's probably some sort of gambling sponsorship or gambling advertisements that have been going on. That is okay. And as a athlete, professional athlete, you can gamble on sports. You can gamble on, say, the NHL, the Stanley Cup right now going on, the NBA Finals. Both of those, as a MLB baseball player, is completely fine for you to gamble on. What is not okay for you to gamble on, and this is across all leagues, is if you're currently playing in said sport, in baseball, you cannot gamble on baseball. If you're playing in NHL, you cannot gamble on the NHL. These are the rules. They make this very clear every season. I was looking into some stuff. Like, they come down, they read you the rule every year and say, hey, don't gamble. It's so easy to just not do it while you're playing. Like, while you're part of the team's roster. And whether you're in AA, AAA, just don't do it. So, to Capita, goodbye. So there's more to it, obviously. There's a couple other guys here that did receive some suspensions for 1 year. The difference, I'm assuming, because the only difference that I can understand is that these guys were betting on baseball, just not their team. Tucapita was on the Pirates when he was betting on the Pirates. These guys were betting on baseball, just not their team. So Michael Kelly from your Oakland A's, Jay Groom from your Padres, Andrew Salfrank for your D-backs, and Jose Rodriguez for your Phillies. Only Michael Kelly is currently on an MLB roster, or was currently on an MLB roster. The other three guys are in AAA or AA. But yeah, Michael Kelly was set to receive like $800,000, I think, like $800K. And I think that's going to be not his money anymore. So these guys are going to get suspended for a year, while, as mentioned, Tucapita Marcano has received a lifetime ban. We don't need to get into the e-pay stuff. We don't need to talk about anything else. That's just the news. That's what happened. Let's leave it where it lies and never really have to talk about these guys, or at least Tucapita, again. So there's that. The White Sox, let's talk about them, because they are also bad. They are trash. They are not good at what they're doing, and what they should be doing is winning a baseball game. They have now been on a 14-game losing streak. It's the longest losing streak in their franchise's history. I can't really tell you what it is exactly that has gone wrong for the White Sox, because realistically, it's probably a mix of just everything. The White Sox are a bad team here. They lost their 14th game yesterday against the Red Sox, who they're starting a 4-game series with, against the Sox team here. But they got swept the 2 games by the Cubs. They got swept by the Brewers. They were swept by the Blue Jays, and they were swept by Baltimore. Their last win was against the Blue Jays in Toronto back in May 2000 and something. May 21st, they won 5-0 on a Garrett Crochet start. Since then, they've lost 4 straight to Baltimore. They've lost 4 to the Blue Jays, 3 to the Brewers, 2 to the Cubs. It's just been a really tough go of things for them there. They were also swept by the Yankees just before that win as well. But yeah, it's really unfortunate for these White Sox, who are struggling to kind of have any sort of team chemistry, team luck. And I mean, when you are the White Sox, you are the worst team in baseball. So no matter which series you're approaching, the team that you're playing is better than you. They're going with Boston right now. Then they're going to go at it for 4 with Seattle. They have 2 back-to-back 4-game sets before meeting up with Arizona. And realistically, that's still very tough. And you can go Astros, Tigers, Dodgers, Braves. It's a really... Okay, the Braves is a makeup game. I'm looking at the schedule now. I was just kind of following my cursor around. I'm like, and now it's a series against Braves. I'm like, oh, it's only 1 game, though. They have a makeup against the Braves, 3 games against the Dodgers, Rockies. It's just going to be a lot of tough baseball for the White Sox. I'm really hoping they can find one against Boston. If we're coming here on Monday and being like, yep, they're on a 17-game losing streak, I'm not going to feel great about that. But it is what it is. White Sox fans... I'm sorry, but you guys are pretty bad. Speaking of pretty bad, because that's kind of the theme of today's episode, Avisail Garcia was DFA'd by your Marlins, and Harold Ramirez has been DFA'd by your Rays. So the Florida team's getting rid of some talent here, or so they think. Avisail Garcia, he was once an All-Star in 2017, had some good years with the White Sox, went to Tampa Bay for one season, had a very nice year before receiving a 2-year deal there with the Brewers, I believe, or was it a deal? I thought it was a 4-year deal, and then maybe they just... No, I think it was... He signed with the Brewers 2 years, or he finished off his contract here. In 2021, he had a very nice season. Hit 29 home runs and 820 OPS. That and his All-Star year made him probably get some good money. He got a nice deal from Miami. On his age 31 season, he had his first year in 2022, and it was awful. A 582 OPS, a 224 batting average, only hit 8 home runs, and he only played in 98 games. Last year was even worse, with a 556 OPS in 37 games, and this year so far 18 games and a 635 OPS and only 2 home runs. The only 2 runs he's driven in, 2 solo shot home runs. He's walked once, and he has 12 hits. And that is awful. So he fleeced the Marlins good, got a nice paycheck for them, and played like crap. So he is gone. Marlins said, enough of that. We don't need him anymore. That's just dead weight. And the Rays have cut loose Harold Ramirez, who was signed to kind of be a big piece and has been a big piece for them. Over the last couple of years. He was with them in 2022. But here in his age 29 season, things have not gone good for him. Has definitely been a change of pace from last year. Last year, he had an 813 OPS, 12 home runs, 68 RBIs, and a 313 batting average. This year, not having an awful year, but still a 589 OPS, 268 batting average, only the 1 home run. Definitely a down year, and the Rays have said goodbye to him. I find this one a little bit more interesting. I think Harold Ramirez is going to land on his feet and find him somewhere else. But Avisail Garcia has had a really tough 3-year stretch, and his time in the league might be done, but I'm sure maybe a team like the White Sox maybe will take a chance on him, but we'll have to see how things go from there. But yeah, so some more bad news there. And I guess we'll end it with some bad news. Or not bad news, but just things not going the way we had hoped. Jordan Montgomery has been tragic to start his Diamondbacks career. Some of you may remember when Madison Bumgarner, he was a Giant his whole career, signed with the Diamondbacks, and started his career awfully tragic. Complete and utter shambles. Jordan Montgomery has been worse. Through the first 9 starts of his Diamondback career, he's pitched 46 and a third innings with a 6.8 ERA, 5.6 Ks per 9, and a 319 batted average against. While Madison Bumgarner in his first 9 starts, 41 and 2/3, a 6.48 ERA, 6.5 Ks per 9, and a 276 batting average against. So, on all accounts, Bumgarner's been better, which is awful for if you're Montgomery to be compared to Bumgarner in this way and to lose the comparison coming off a year where you were phenomenal and won the World Series with the Rangers. It's a really tough go of things for Jordan Montgomery right now. Obviously, he started the year late because of injuries, but, I mean, this is still kind of a little bit inexcusable in a way. His ERA hasn't been this bad since COVID year in 2010, and that was still in an inflated year. So, realistically, this is the worst Montgomery's kind of played in his whole career. Because 2019 had a 6.75 ERA, but he only pitched in 4 innings. So, I mean, a really rough go of things right now for Montgomery as he's trying to figure something out for him because there needs to be a tweak because he's coming up on pretty much the amount of games he's played with Texas when he got traded last year, and he had a 2.79 in 11 starts. and he's already at 6.8 and 9. So Montgomery needs to start to click things, because I'm sure the Diamondbacks do not need another Bumgarner situation on their hands. All right, now with all that bad news baseball out of the way, let's get into some more bad news, things that are unfortunate, just an episode of sadness. Injury updates. A couple guys on the IL. Blake Snell with your Giants. He fought all his way back to get off the IL. Ends up back on it, a left groin strain for him. Tommy Pham, one of the only good things about the White Sox, he's on the IL with a sprained ankle. Chris Bryant has a rib contusion and has landed himself on the IL, and Brandon Marsh as well with a sprained hamstring. And then we had a lot of guys here who I'm just going to mention. I haven't really looked into a lot of things, but Kyle Tucker exited the game after he fouled a ball off of his shin. Corey Seager left the game after a hamstring tightness. Christopher Morel and Manny Machado also left games after foul ball hit Morel, and then while running to first base, Machado left the game after that. And the big one, Juan Soto, who is getting looked at today if he hasn't already been looked at, but he was removed during the rain delay in one of the games. He has said that his forearm had been bothering him for a while, so the Yankees removed him as a precautionary. So some guys there who could or could not be handing their way on the IL, potentially we'll be talking about that Monday. Outstanding performances here now. And we're going through, and we've got another nice list here. Zach Wheeler headlines at 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, 6 Ks. Tyler Anderson, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, an earned run, 33 walks, 2 Ks. Matt Waldron, 6.1 innings pitched, 2 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 4 Ks. Max Fried, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 13 strikeouts for Max Fried. Jared Jones, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks. Frankie Montas, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, 9 Ks. Patrick Sandoval, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 7 Ks. Adam Mazur in his MLB debut, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, an earned run, 4 walks, and 2 Ks. Nick Pivetta, 7 innings pitched, a hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, 9 Ks. Luis Severino, 8 innings pitched, 7 hits, an earned run, no walks, 4 Ks. Joey Estes took a perfect game into the 7th for Oakland, 6 1/3 innings pitched, a hit, no earned runs, no walks, 5 Ks. Brian Wu, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 6 Ks. That is your outstanding performances. We look now to our stat leaderboard for any updates, and I think there was either very little or none, besides numbers changing. Leading the league in average is Luis Arias. He holds it alone now, 335 for him. He also leads the league in hits with 87. Judge with home runs now with 21. Jose Ramirez, 60 RBIs for him. Bobby Witt leads the league in runs still with 54. Judge still leads in walks with 52. Ellie De La Cruz in stolen bases still with 32, and Judge with OPS 1.081. Wins, no change. Ranger Suarez and Seth Lugo tied for 9. ERA, Ranger Suarez now leads that with 1.7. Tyler Glass now leads in K still with 104, and then in save still is Ryan Helsley with 20. So really not a whole lot happening there. Upcoming series for the weekend here, Dodgers and Yankees. That could be a potential World Series matchup. It's definitely the ones we want to see. Judge, Cole, it's going to be a superstar talent in New York there, so that's definitely a series to watch. Oilers and Rays, Red Sox and White Sox, the sock-off, Brewers and Tigers, Mariners and Royals, Giants and Rangers, Blue Jays and Oakland, the A's, Astros and Angels, Guardians at Marlins, Braves at Nationals, Twins at Pirates, Cubs at Reds, Rockies and Cardinals, D-backs and Marlins. And then the Phillies and the Mets are playing 2 games in London. They've been there since last night. The London series is this weekend. We'll be talking about that come Monday, so gear up for that one for sure. I'm excited for the London series. Who's going to come out on top? Will it be the Phillies? Will it be the Mets? Will it be a tie? Most likely. A lot of times, 2-game sets are ties. Playoff prediction time. The predictor is going. Twins and Mariners. The Twins in the 6th seed still. Mariners still hold the AL West in the 3 seed. Twins win that one. And then the other one, Royals and Oilers. Royals take that series. So we have an ALDS of Royals and Yankees, Twins and Guardians, and it's the Royals and Guardians that move on to the ALCS. The 2 best teams in the AL Central. Who will take that? It's the Guardians, who head to the World Series. On the NL side, we have the Padres in the 6th seed, Brewers in the 3, leading the Central, and then the Cubs and Braves, Cubs in the 5, Braves in the 4. Braves and Brewers win those series. We head to the NLDS. Braves and Phillies, Brewers and Dodgers. Phillies beats the Braves, big surprise there. Brewers beat the Dodgers, actual surprise. As we have an NLCS matchup between the Brewers and the Phillies, that could be a fun one. Phillies just swept them this week, but the Brewers get the last laugh. Brewers beat the Phillies and head to the World Series, where we have the Brewers and the Guardians. What a matchup this would be. Would people really like that matchup? Doesn't matter because we got it, and the Guardians win it. The 2024 World Series champion, Cleveland Guardians. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our episode today here. Always a long one when you got the players of the month to talk about. I appreciate you all. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. London coming up next week, and a lot of fun stuff going through. Thank you, everybody, so much, and I will see you on Monday.